Who is Mr. Omodulus? We know he's anonymous. We know he's a crypto developer of 𝗖𝗓𝗧 and REVOLT to earn, the sister token that launched in June. We know that he's all for decentralization. We know that he's all for adopting people into the crypto space. We know that he's against most governments and authorities and powers that be. But what we don't know is who he is. Now, there was a thread that came out earlier. There was some noise that Mr. Omodulus was the CEO of 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗛, Dominic, in which Mr. Omodulus put out a statement showing that these allegations were false. Let's take a look at that tweet here from Mr. Omodulus earlier this morning. He said, "The most annoying part of crypto is having to address amateur sleuths who with zero context suddenly think they alone have uncovered some grand conspiracy/truths. If I needed liquidity/money, I would have kept the 600 Ethereum I used to buy back and burn cult in July." He then posts all of the different receipts showing the 600 Ethereum that he used to buy back and burn cult in July. Number two, I also would have kept the $1.8 million of REVOLT I burned the same month. Number three, anybody active in our community, in our Discord or Twitter, knows that if our developers want to sell, they use 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗛 and Dominic 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗛 market makers. This is because it means our developers can use their high-frequency trading bots to sell with no impact on price. So it doesn't take a genius to link our developers to the 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗛 deployer address. When we send them proposal and developer funds all the time to sell with zero price impact. This is another example of doing the right thing and still having it cause grief. Well, Mr. Omodulus, I got some news for you. You're always going to have someone that is barking down your neck, whether you're doing the right or wrong thing. He then goes on to say, what would we rather? Zero impact sales on centralized exchanges or sales into Uniswap? If you have reasonable questions or concerns, then just ask me, because if you spread uninformed FUD, I will embarrass you publicly. Mic drop. So that's Mr. O. He is talking about the allegations that he is Dominic Ryder, that he's part of 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗛, because apparently, and I haven't seen it yet, someone linked the 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗛 deployer to 𝗖𝗓𝗧 and some of the developers at Cult. Now, I want to make a statement about this because at the end of the day, I'll give you my perspective, my opinion, and I'd love to hear yours in the comments. I'll go through all comments, so leave a comment below. But I don't personally care who Mr. O is. We know he's a human. That's a fact. We don't know who he is. He's anonymous. I don't care who he is because of what he is doing for the crypto space. I don't care who he is because what he is doing for decentralization. I don't care who he is because what he is doing for all of his investors. Now, back in the day, maybe a year and a half ago, I said I want every developer to be completely doxxed. But then I realized that it does take away from the project because it's easy to point your fingers when you have a CEO and a developer who shows their face on camera and talks publicly to the community. I'm a fan of 𝗖𝗓𝗧𝗛. I'm a fan of REVOLT. I'm a fan of what it does for cryptocurrency and moving the ball forward, however small it might be. And guess what? When you're on Twitter, when you're on the internet, you're always going to have someone that has a platform and a voice. Some random guy in Tennessee can tweet out that Mr. O is this guy. Here's the link. And people start to believe it. But I've had some stuff thrown at me. Here's his wallets. Here's this. They have been farther from the truth. So I want to make it a statement. You can't believe everything you see on the internet. And me personally, as someone that covers tokens on a daily basis, as long as the developer is truthful, as long as the developer is acting in good faith in the community, as long as the developer has high moral and ethics and is trying to push the ball forward for decentralization and cryptocurrency, I don't care if they are doxxed or not. And sometimes being doxxed actually takes away from the project, from the mission, and from what they are trying to accomplish. We don't know who Mr. O is, but what we do know is he is trying to move the ball forward on cryptocurrency. He is trying to build Cult and REVOLT and make them into something special. And he is not going to stop anytime soon. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see you on the next episode.